Hey everyone, welcome back to Love, Food and Fitness. Today's episode is a celebration of what happens when passionate citizens come together, roll up their sleeves, and decide to change the face of the city literally. Because it's not just about our personal healing, it's about collective healing and wellness of the city, which we call our home. I'm joined today by one of the most incredible team members behind IAmGurgaon, a movement that transformed barren mining land into thriving forest, brought native trees back into our consciousness, revived ancient water bodies, and inspired thousands to reconnect with nature, all right here in what we now call our Gurugram. Efforts that have turned forgotten, abused parts of Gurgaon into flourishing green zones where birds now sing, children play, people walk, cycle, and reconnect with nature. From the visionary Aravali Biodiversity Park to innovative waste management and India's first car free Rahagiri Day, this episode is a deep dive into how people power of them coming together for a cause is redefining urban sustainability. So, if ever you've wondered that citizens can really make a difference, so please stay on and listen to this episode because it's all for the dreamers and the doers. Before we dive into the magic of forest and community movement, I want to take a moment to share the incredible journey of our guest today. Please welcome Ms. Priti Sanwalka. She was born into a conservative yes, yet progressive family that believed deeply in giving equal opportunity to their daughters. She was raised with quite a strength. From Wellams to LSR to becoming a chartered accountant, her path was completely set from the word go. A successful corporate career followed, but then came a pause. A sabbatical she took to catch a breath, but she never went back because somewhere in that stillness she found her calling. Not in boardrooms, but in restoring forest, in nurturing the ecosystems and building a greener tomorrow. Aptly naming today's episode behind the incredible journey that she has had from corporate halls to forest trails, let's welcome Ms. Priti Sanwalka. Welcome to the episode.
Thank you so much for having me here. I look forward to sharing my journey with you.
It'll be wonderful. I think let's begin from right where we're talking about your corporate career. What was that turning point like for you from a high-paced corporate life to discovering, this completely new world of green activism? How did that transition unfold for you?
So, if I was to go back 15 years ago, uh, when I was enjoying my job, I was very happy. I was doing good, and but somewhere along the line, I thought something was missing. Life became very very hectic, and I thought I'd take a step back. I'll take a year off from my corporate job. So I asked for a year's break. I took a year sabbatical, and during that year, I was quite sure that I would go back. But somewhere along the line, I got introduced to IAmGurgaon. IAmGurgaon had just started out, and they were having their initial planting drives. I was invited to be a volunteer and to participate in one of those drives. I was really, really happy. I really enjoyed myself. Never been that much of an outdoor person. I never thought I'd get into this, but that I think that one planting day really transformed me, and I thought this is what I want to do.
Really, and this is something that really coming from your heart. Not it's not an earning factor. It is just giving back to the society. That's
Yeah, so all of us who are the core members of IAmGurgaon,
Yeah.
we are all volunteers. So we don't get paid. The money that we raise or the funds that we raise really is for the rest of the staff. As core members, all of us decided that we want to give back to the city, and that's how we all came together.
That's like so encouraging. There are three C's which probably I would like to say it's courage, it's your clarity and conviction that you're suddenly changing from corporate. All know they are all high-paying jobs, and suddenly switching on to kind of a social service. That's what we
Yes,
can term
it
it
is.
as. Yeah, it is
Yes.
social service, and switching it there and doing so well is like wonderful. So let's talk about I Am Gurgaon now. It's like what we know of it is a citizen-led movement that has transformed not just landscape; it's also transforming mindsets of people. From you, as you shared with me, from reclaiming dumping grounds to creating thriving biodiversity parks. I'm Gurgaon is more than just an initiative. I think it's a revolution rooted in love for nature and a belief that ordinary people can also turn out and make things extraordinary legacies. So take us back to the beginning. How did if you know, because you joined late, but how did IAmGurgaon in its own came into existence, and what was the spark that ignited it to be formed and people joined in?
Yeah. So I Am Gurgaon started in 2009, March of 2009. A group of people, a group of women got together and they said, let's try and make a difference to the city. That's what the whole idea was. And the initial founding members were Latika Tukral, there was Swanzil Kapoor, and there was a lady called Ambika. And more people joined in. There was Anjali, there was Gayatri. Along the way, we had Nidhi, Vasundhara, Namrita,
All women,
Anjali, all women.
all women.
All of us got in. And slowly we tried to, as I said, we tried to, all of us, none of us came back from a background which was of social sector or even a background of ecology. But I think all of us decided we wanted to make a difference to the city. And that was the common thread across to all of us.
You were also a chartered accountant and doing something which is so different from what you have kind of learned over the years.
Yes. So somebody was a banker, somebody was an architect, somebody was an artist, somebody a psychologist, somebody an art curator. I'm a chartered accountant. Everybody from varied backgrounds. But I think that's what got it together. But the idea was we want to make a difference. We want to give back. And I think what touched all of us really was that instead of all of us cribbing that the city is dirty, the city is polluted, we have no green spaces, and there's no clean water, and so on and so forth, it's our own city. If it is like this, we are responsible for it. And we are also responsible of trying to make a difference to reverse all this damage. So I Am Gurgaon really is a small endeavor to try and reverse all that damage. And the name I Am Gurgaon itself says each one of us is Gurgaon.
Is Gurgaon, right?
So we've got to give back to the city which we live in.
Which is so true. Like we are part of it, so we are also responsible for whatever it is, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
We are part of it.
Absolutely. We owe it to the city because this is the place where we work. This is the way where we eat, breathe, live. So we've got to make it better for us. We've got to lead a better life and leave a better legacy for our children. Because our children are, going to grow up and tell us the city was polluted. We couldn't breathe. They're going to grow up with all these issues. So what is it we are doing to try and reverse that?
Exactly. My daughter also sometimes says, I don't want to wish to have children because the city is so polluted, giving birth, getting another life into this world with so much of pollution. What life are you going to give that baby?
I completely agree with her. And that's why we have to reverse this. And it's, I think the movement itself is really, it's hope. That yes, a group of people, if we are determined, we get together, we can make a difference to the place.
I'm sure, because IAmGurgaon is shining. Okay, so starting something, this is so ambitious, but yet we all know starting something at this level comes with a lot of blockages, lot of bureaucracy, maybe people stopping the work, and maybe funding would be an issue. So what were the initial bottlenecks that you faced for IAmGurgaon?
So initially, I think the biggest bottleneck was we started IAmGurgaon. People didn't know IAmGurgaon, right?
Yeah.
And didn't know what it stands for. And we ourselves at that point thought it's going to be a small job, few hours a day. But as it grew bigger and bigger, all of us got engulfed in it, got passionate, whether it was working on the grounds, whether it was trying to raise funds, whether it was trying to talk to corporates, whether it was trying to talk to the government. It just kind of became bigger and bigger. And now all of us are full-time, literally into this. We did face challenges. We continue to face some challenges.
I'm sure.
So as I said, the initial challenges were trying to make people understand what is it that we want to do. People always thought there is an agenda. How is it that a group of women who could do anything with their time or their life are deciding to do all this without taking money, are ready to stand on the ground, are ready
it's hard to believe.
Yeah, to work on a public project. What's in it for them? So convincing people of that, whether it was the government, whether it was corporates, whether it was our own families, it was a challenge. We've come a long way since then. I have to say, 16 years and still going. I would say people do know IAmGurgaon, but still not enough. I think more and more people in Gurgaon and outside Gurgaon need to know it. The government definitely knows, because all our projects we partner with the government. It's on government land. Because very soon we realize that if we have to make a big impact in the city, we have to work with the government. And we've been lucky that the government has partnered with us in all our projects. Um, they truly are a partner, and they do support us in whichever way we ask them, whichever way they can, and we go along.
That's very heartening to know. Sometimes we feel that authorities are not supportive enough. So this is like really heartening to know that, if you are the cause is right and you put it forward in a correct way, I think you get the support.
We have learned that, and we've also realized that if you approach the right people and they understand your right intent, once they're convinced, they will help you. They do go out and help, and they do understand that you're trying. And now our projects speak for ourselves
Of course.
more than us trying to convince people. It is very important whenever we go to whether it's government or sponsors, we always invite them to come to the projects. And it's very different to talk to you in a boardroom in a PowerPoint slide versus actually coming on the ground.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of our conversations happen on the ground.
On the
So
sites.
that itself is, it shows the work which is happening.
You mentioned, Abhi, right now that family support. So just going back a few steps, and when we're talking about you leaving your corporate life, so was your family supportive? Because these days double income is always something which
Yeah.
is enjoyed by everybody.
Yeah.
Because things are like that, so expensive things are. So when you quit everything and started doing something which I'm sure involves you 24/7 as well, because it's not an easy job. And was the family supportive enough?
Yes, so that way I'm blessed that very, very supportive family. And I think my husband and me had a long discussion. So he said, do whatever takes, whatever, follow your dream. And at that time, actually, I didn't think I'm not going to go back. As I said, when I took a year sabbatical, I wasn't sure what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going to go back to a corporate job, whether I'm just not going to do anything. But just one thing led to the other, and I got involved. And I think everybody at home, my husband, whether it was my in-laws, my children, my parents, my brother and sister, they all realized that I'm so passionate and I love it so much that they could not understand what I'm going through. So I think they all were supportive, and my mother still reminds me, and it's she jokes with me that initially when I had joined and we were trying to raise funds, every time it was my birthday or anniversary, she would ask me, what is it you want as a gift? And I would say, just sponsor 10 trees or 20 trees. So she said, if you
Oh,
remember,
that's so
initially
sweet.
that's how we used to raise funds initially. So she reminds me of that, when this started 15 years ago.
That's so wonderful. That's really nice. This is incredible, actually. So now we all have read, or people who don't know, then they know or should know that they've done incredible work with Aravali Biodiversity Park. There is Chakarpur Bandh, there is Sikandarpur Pahadi, and there's so much more. And these are not just projects; they're complete legacies that you have made. For people to kind of look at them and do some other good work as well. So, which of these stands out for you as a turning point? A moment when you felt, yes, it's happening, it's working, it's healing, kind of a thing.
Okay. So when the first project, as you mentioned, was our Aravali Biodiversity Park.
Yeah.
We were also young, we were hopeful, and much more energy. And but when we started this work, none of us realized that making a forest is a very big job. It's not just you find saplings and you plant them. And because, as I said, as I told you before, none of us are from an ecology background.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of us foolishly envisioned, in a way that was good, because if we had known that's hard, maybe we wouldn't have got into it. But we were very clear we wanted to do something, we wanted to do it right. And so we got in an ecologist who's become a very good friend, Vijay. And he kind of guided us. For inspiration, we went to different forests of the Aravalis, whether it was Mangarbani and so on and so forth, to try and understand what is the vision, what is it we want to do. Because we walk into a mining site in which is dumped, we see nothing, we don't even see soil. So for us to even imagine that what are we trying to achieve, we eventually want to make it into a forest, none of us could imagine it.
How are the sites? I think you must tell me about, in what situation would you get the place in the beginning?
So all of our sites, when we walk in, the first thing which shocks us is the filth and the fact that it's completely depleted. So it's really been, these are mining sites where mining used to happen because They used to blast them. They used to take out the rocks. They used to take out quartzite, all for construction. And then when mining was declared illegal in Gurgaon, they just left it like that. And over a period of time, these places became dumping grounds. So when we walk in, areas are either smelling, we don't even know where to walk, we don't know where the water bodies are, we don't know what the pathways are, because it's completely in that state. So that is a shock the first time you walk in. But now, as years have gone by, we are not surprised that this is how we find our sites. It's unfortunate, but that's how we find the sites when we walk in. So for us to even imagine that it could be a forest was very difficult. So when we started planting and 2 years, 3 years happened, we used to keep asking each other and even asking Vijay, will we see a forest in our lifetime? Because, for us, we've seen gardens, you water and they become big and you're done. You're watering every day and your trees grow.
Yeah.
But here it's 3 years and we're still not seeing such big trees. So we were, there were many times we used to question ourselves. We used to say, will we see a forest in a lifetime, or they're just going to remain so small? And then he used to always tell us, be patient, wait. And today, 10 years later, after that, as I told you, it was declared the first OECM site in the country, which was a tag given by United Nations, a body of United Nations called IUCN, that this place is so biodiverse that it needs protection at international level.
Oh, wow.
So that was very heartening. We never imagined something like this would happen, but it's a delight for us, and which also makes us realize we're doing it right. We must have done something right. So now that gives us hope. And as I said, the turning point for me was seeing this place transform and seeing the whole delight of everything coming back, whether it was birds, butterflies, animals, insects, seeing all of them come back to this space.
That's so wonderful. And I've been gone for a walk a few times in Biodiversity Park. I just cannot imagine it was something like that.
Yeah.
What you're describing it to be. I just can't really imagine like that.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing photographs with you on what the before and after of that.
Yeah.
Even sometimes when we walk in, we forget, and we take it for granted that, okay, this place was already there.
Yeah.
And I think all of us in IAmGurgaon, each one of us feel very, very blessed that we have the opportunity to create a forest. All of us have visited forests, whether in India or overseas, the best of forests.
Yeah.
But till you actually start building a forest or making the forest, one doesn't realize how difficult and how different it is to try and do that. We don't value it, we just destroy it. It takes a couple of weeks or days to even destroy it, get the machines and destroy forests. But it takes so long to recreate that.
And you're saying 10 years probably to get it.
10 years, and we still call it a very young forest. It's still a young forest.
It's a young forest.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
So for me, I think that was a turning point, to see the transformation of that and learn along the way.
You are doing, I think, a lot of recycling of waste, like complete waste management that you have kind of taken up as a project. How do you do that, and how is it recycled?
Okay, so as I said, when we walked into any of our sites, the first thing we see is a lot of plastic. And we see a lot of plastic, single-use plastic, we see a lot of cloth, we see a lot of construction waste, and everything which goes with it. Now we realize that very soon that we have to also think of tackling the source so that no more gets dumped into our sites. And because of this, we started recycling units within the city. 2 people from our team, Anjali and Namrita, are really leading that endeavor. So we have 4 recycling units across the city in our sites. We have bins there, we place bins, and whether it's different types of plastic, whether it's metal, whether it's e-waste or cloth, any kind of dry waste that you have in your house doesn't need to go to a landfill. You need to come there, and it gets segregated. You put it segregated, put it in the right bins, and then once it's collected to a certain point, we have identified responsible recyclers who pick it up and recycle it. So none of that goes into a landfill. So, for example, we have, like, you have chips packets, or chocolate wrappers, right?
Which you got some aluminum in it.
That's right. So those we give to an organization called Avakayam, which actually employs specially abled children who make beautiful bags, evening bags out of them, baskets or rugs. and they're really gorgeous. So they make stuff like this out of it.
Yes.
We have one of our recycling units is very unusual. It's called Mandir Recycling Unit. So it's
Mandir recycling.
Mandir Recycling.
Okay.
So it's outside a mandir, and because we also realize that in all our festivals we create a lot of waste, whether it's flowers or it's chunnis and diyas and molly and
Oh yes.
all of that.
All of that.
What do? We just pack it up into a plastic packet and leave it. Either we throw it in the river, or we leave it in the mandir and we walk away. And where does it go? It goes to a landfill. That's eventually where it goes. So this mandir recycling unit, it has a place for recycling for all of these. So, for example, the flowers go to a place where they make holy colors, natural colors, or they make havan kund, or they make agarbattis out of it. The chunnis go to an NGO which makes chunnis for, they stitch it up and make lehenga and chunnis for children who are underprivileged for their marriage.
That's so.
So that's
beautiful.
how each one of these things gets recycled and it gets a second life. Doesn't get into a river or into a landfill.
And this is also in Gurgaon.
Yes, very much so.
That really was like I didn't even
All
know
of
about
us
it.
is in Gurgaon.
All of this is in Gurgaon.
Yes.
Didn't know about so much about it actually.
Yeah.
But this is really beautiful. You kind of given employment in a way to other people as well.
Yes. So all of them need this, and we don't want it to be thrown. So it's actually the circular economy is what we'd all like to do.
So how many kind of kgs of waste you are able to collect on an everyday
So in
basis?
the last 2.5 years, we've managed to save 3 lakh plus the amount of kgs of waste going into a landfill.
Oh my God.
So
Oh
that's
my God.
huge. So, and that includes all of us, whether it's paper or it's metal or it's e-waste and so on. All of that.
That's amazing. That's just amazing. Like
So people
really
have,
hats off.
so people have joined us in this because we have volunteers who who say we want to do it individual homes, even in condominiums, because in condominiums you have a huge lot of people staying in the same place.
Yeah.
A lot of condominiums are recycling, but some condominiums have complained that we do segregate the dry and the wet, but the moment the person takes it out, they just get mixed
They
up.
mix it, yes.
So they do it themselves. They segregate it and they come and deliver it to our recycling units, or we get it picked up. If it's a large amount, we have an e-vehicle which goes and it gets it picked up.
We've got e-vehicles also.
Yes, we have one e-vehicle which a volunteer has lent it to us, and we go and pick up this waste.
Now, since we're speaking about volunteers, like how have you been able to manage to get so many people to volunteer and support you without, again, any other motive, just to support?
No, I think all of us believe that if you do the right thing and you have the right intent, people will join.
Do come forward.
People do come forward. So we have a very active group of volunteers, wherein whatever we are doing, we do put that out. And whenever we need volunteers, we need a lot of volunteers during our planting season. So we do have people who come over, and we have volunteers who've been with us year on year. But every year we get new volunteers who join us. So we get them on our sites before the planting starts. We train them. We explain to them what we're doing. So they are our hands, and they are additional volunteers for us when we start planting.
Yeah, because your scope of work has kind of increased now with the number of places probably you're turning into forests.
Yes, and also I think during a planting season, why we also need a lot of volunteers is because we only plant during the monsoon.
Okay.
So we literally have 2.5 months in which we have to do all our planting. So we are planting almost every day. So when we get school children to come in and plant with us,
really?
School children from privileged schools, private schools, as well as children from underprivileged schools.
Is the school sends those kids, or they're coming on their own?
School sends the children.
That's lovely. That's lovely. That's
so they
nice.
do reach out to us. So the way it works is that during planting, we plant, as I said, during the monsoon season. We reach out to sponsors beforehand, and let's say a sponsor sponsors 1,000 saplings or 2,000 saplings. They don't come on the ground and plant all of them. For us, the easiest would be to tell our own Malis to plant it, because they're trained, they're fast, and they will do it very, very, very well. But we want to educate and spread the message.
Yeah, that's
and
important.
That is why we invite school children, we get citizens to come and plant. Because till they don't come and to plant themselves, they will not understand why are we planting, how difficult it is. And anybody who comes to the site and plants starts associating with that place and gets educated. And we believe that the more the messaging we spread, we all know Aravali's are under threat. So if there are more and more people who understand, especially the new generation, they understand the value of why we are doing it, they will fight to protect it. They will understand the value of these projects because that's the future. They are the future. So
Absolutely.
if they have to understand why these forests are important and why we are doing it. So they will protect it.
That's really nice. Actually, that's required. We have to know the value of what you're doing because you're not doing it for yourself. It's like for everybody, all of us. Breathing the same air, living in the same area. The plants will not deny greenery or the shadow to anybody. Whoever goes there
yes.
will get the benefit of those trees.
Yes.
That's so wonderful. Okay, so we often talk about nature in terms of a planet. We talk about that only. But what about us, the people? What does a green corridor or a walkable trail help us mentally and physically? Like we know it in general for ourselves, but have you seen people's perception change or people thought change when they've come to the biodiversity park, and how they have embraced the work you have done?
Yes. So as I said, when we started initially, we had a lot of naysayers. We still have some naysayers, but of course, they have reduced. So people used to ask us that, we see you come every year, we see corporates coming in, and we see the boards put up, and we see you planting, but we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing the benefits. We're not seeing the trees. We're not seeing the forest come up.
Yeah.
But slowly and gradually, the
We saw
forest
it.
started coming up. People started understanding that why we are planting, what we are planting, and where we are planting. So slowly, I think and also we did a lot of activities to engage people. It's been a lot of efforts to reach out to people from all communities, all societies, all age groups. So whether it is a person who's walked in from a corporate, whether it is a villager who lives close by, who used to question us that our cows are not allowed here, why can't they graze here? So to explain to him that there is a grazing ground, but this is a forest, and we need to you need it as much as we do. So everybody has come together. I think all of these spaces are also melting pots because this is all free. These areas are free for everybody.
Yeah.
So people
it belongs to everyone in a way.
Yes. So it's not an urban-led park. It's not a closed society. Anybody and everybody can walk in. So people meet. We have divided Gurgaon into two different. People who live in Golf Course Road and people who live elsewhere in the urbans or in the slums. This is a place, or in the villages. This is a place old and new Gurgaon come together. Everybody walks these spaces. There was a huge change during COVID. People wanted green spaces. People wanted open spaces. They understood the value of air, having spaces like this. Because all these spaces is where people used to enjoy and be and used to walk around. And people really, really valued it. So slowly, I think people's thought is changing about why we are planting these, why forests are important. And I think there are enough studies to show why forests are important. It's not just the trees. It's not, see, we always think of forests from a human centric point of view. First time we look at a tree, we want to understand, does it fruit? Can I eat the fruit? Is it medicinal? Can I use the wood? But we have to change that thinking. These forests are also for the entire flora and fauna to come back. The birds have become silent. They have gone. We stopped seeing sparrows, right? Which was a common house sparrow, because the habitats are not there. So we are okay to travel far off to Ranthambores
I
and all.
Think about it. Yeah, I have not seen a sparrow since a long time.
You don't see these because there is no habitat left. So these are spaces for all this to come back as well. Yes, we will also benefit when we see, when you hear a bird sound versus a car horn, especially in a city, right? So your stress levels will go down, your anxiety levels will go down, your breathing gets better, your blood pressure gets more normalized. In all of these, that's why all these spaces also important. But more so, it is also to bring back the birds, the butterflies, the insects, and everything associated with it.
It's an entire ecosystem, and we need everything.
We have disturbed it. We need to create some spaces, even though these spaces are very, very small, if you look at the larger scheme of things, but at least they are there.
Absolutely true. So, looking ahead, what are your dreams for a greener Gurgaon, or what is the aim now I am Gurgaon is working at?
So, yes, we always dream big. I think if we stop dreaming, we'll stop existing.
Yes.
So, all of us always dream big. And sometimes we question ourselves that are we too ambitious? So, but we always dream big. I think the endeavor is to increase more and more forest cover within the city to somehow help tackle waste. So we've also realized one of our very important projects which we've started doing the last couple of years is trying to stop flooding in Gurgaon.
Okay.
So we'd see whenever it rains, right? Everybody is very upset because they say, "Oh, there'll be flood on the road, there'll be
Yeah, it becomes
traffic
very bad.
jams,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth."
Yeah.
I think the only people who are happy is IAmGurgaon. We're very happy when it rains
Really?
because for us, rains means we get water into our forests. So one is which is falling directly, and one is which is on the road. Because the first things we do is we call up our supervisors, our malis, and we rush to those spaces to see that all the water which is collecting, all our channels which are going from the roads into our forest lands are all clean, so that the water doesn't stop anywhere and it gushes into our forests. And that's what you'll see, that in all our sites across the city, there will be no water standing, there'll be no flooding in the sites where all the projects are, because we have intentionally made channels from high points on the road into our forests. It goes into the forest, it goes into the ponds, it goes and it gets soaked in. For us, water is an asset, it's not a liability. The moment it starts flowing on the road, it's a liability. We consider it an asset because it rains for such less time, it rains so
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
We need all that water to come into our green spaces. The other thing is there were some creeks, not some, there are some creeks in Gurgaon which were created to stop flooding. But over a period of time, these creeks have either been built upon or been dumped out. So what we're doing is we're cleaning those creeks from this construction waste, from plastic waste, and ensuring that the water on the road again gets pulled and stays in these creeks and flows. Because this is simple solution. It's not the question of putting cement pipes and pushing water from one end of the city to the other, or throwing it into back to Delhi or something like that. We need this water in Gurgaon. So whenever it rains, all of it needs to go into the ground. So that's what our project is. We try and reuse. Another thing, coming back to waste. This is all the dry waste which we can recycle. All the construction waste that we find at our sites, which is also a lot. Gurgaon is city under construction.
Always. Yeah. I know every time the trees, a building is mushrooming like anything anywhere.
I mean, you don't go to a road in 6 months, you will go there and you suddenly see a building
I
coming
swear,
up.
mushrooming around us.
So because of that, there's a lot of construction waste which is actually thrown either in these forests or on the road.
Yeah.
So we reuse all that construction waste. We do not take that to a landfill. We ensure that doesn't go to a landfill. We reuse that, whether it is reused as base material, whether making parking or walkways or benches or even walls. We reuse all that construction waste, because instead of buying new material, that's how we do. Even our architects have got used to that. Whatever we'll find on site, their drawings have to change, and the materiality has to be, first you have to reuse that waste, only then we'll buy new. So all our architects have been tuned to work with us like that.
That's so wonderful. So people, when they're constructing the sites, they should give, instead of throwing the malba, the waste completely on the road or somewhere, I think they should contact you in that case.
Yes, whatever we can reuse, we do try and reuse. And in one of our projects, the Aravali Nagar one, it's a 180-acre site. It's just opposite the Aravali Biodiversity Park. When we walked in, as I said, we found, just like in every other site, we got found plastic and construction waste. The construction waste, whatever we can, we reuse within the site. Whatever we is not able to use as building material, we've put it to the boundary of the forest, and we're growing shrubs and climbers on it. Trees don't grow on it, but yes, small shrubs do grow on it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do.
It's very, very nice, very nice. So, the kind of listeners who are listening to the episode right now, if they want to kind of come forward and help, where should they begin? And a lot of times we think, okay, we also want to do something for the society, but we don't know where to kind of start and, whom to approach for that matter.
No, so at IAmGurgaon, each one of us believe that every individual can make a difference. So it starts from yourself, starts from home. So whether it is segregating your dry waste, composting your wet waste, or and getting it to our centers, understanding what we are doing, and partnering with us. When I say partnering, whether it's just as a volunteer, if you have some sort of skill set, we have amazing people who are photographers who come and photograph for us. People come and do paintings for us. I mean, they conduct painting workshops. They can do nature workshops for us. So whatever your skill set is, you can reach out and something or the other you can contribute to. If nothing else, come to us during our planting season and become a volunteer with us.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Must be keeping you fit also, walking on these sites every day.
I don't know about that, but yeah, yes,
It
you do
does
get in a
help.
lot of steps.
So if you look back, like this journey has made you see a lot of different spectrums of things which probably was not part of your education. So what have you uh, gained from it? What are your takeaways from your own journey?
So I have to say that IAmGurgaon has really, really changed and transformed me in a very, very positive way. So as I said, I had a corporate job. Uh, Life was going good. I enjoyed, and I thought life is just about board meetings and presentations, and the next quarter end and year end and month end and so on. And then you sit back and you realize, and you start doing this, and then you realize that it teaches you patience. It makes you slow down. It really calms you, because if you're not patient, you cannot create watch a forest grow, because you want everything instantly.
Yeah.
This thing of everything in 1 second. It's no,
It doesn't
nature
happen like
really
that.
really teaches you
Be
patience, and it gives you back manifold. What makes you realize is that nature, you do a little bit to help it, it'll give you back manifold. So which is really really a blessing. I think my observation skills have also changed. Like, if I used to go to a forest earlier, I if we didn't see the tigers, I would come back. Oh, we didn't see anything. Everybody was just, the jeeps were going everywhere. Oh, tiger, tiger, tiger. Now you go to a forest. You look. You understand why is the tiger there. The tiger's there because the forest is there. Why isn't there a tiger outside my house or roaming around here? Because the habitat is not there. So you
Yeah.
learn to appreciate that you have to have those habitats, which is why all of this will come back. So that is very humbling to know. And I think a simple thing like, I didn't even know there are so many types of grasses. I didn't know. I used to think grass is grass. I didn't know there's so many types of grasses. I didn't realize grasses also have beautiful flowers, and there's so much interdependency on everything. So you learn words like symbiotic relationships, and there's interdependency on everything.
So grass have flowers.
Yes, lots of grasses
Because
have
I
flowers.
used to think sometimes when you've seen it, you kind of feel, probably pollen grain of some other plant has probably fallen
Could
there,
be also,
and
but
some other.
grasses and herbs, they all have flowers. So your terminal. So as I said, the transformation began with me slowing down, me understanding, and also realizing that the more you are learning, the less you know. You really don't know, not even 1% of what is there to learn.
Absolutely.
And there is so much to learn. And that's the part I enjoy the most in IAmGurgaon, is that every single day that I'm at the site, I learn something. Every day is a new learning. So whether it's observing a new bird, whether it's just observing that the grass has grown well this year, why? How come last year it didn't grow well? Is it because we cleaned the plastic? Is it because there was some other vector which transformed it? We don't know. So, and everything is it's also exciting. If every time you see a new every time it rains and you see new leaves, you see flowering,
Yeah,
you smell that beautiful smells of those flowers. It's very very exciting. So all that changes you. You learn to start appreciating small things.
Today in the morning I saw, on the walk, I saw a beautiful bird, very tiny but blue color, and it's a
Now, purple sunbird might
metallic,
be a shiny.
shiny. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so beautiful. I don't know what the name is. If you know the name.
probably purple sunbird.
Wow,
Probably.
it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. I think we just know of the basic ones, and the crows and the sparrows and the.
Yeah.
pigeons and
slowly,
things like that, you know.
slowly you start learning. And the other thing which changed me a lot was what I read. So now I read books on nature, on
The
birds,
ecosystem and birds
right?
and flora and
Rather than,
fauna.
yeah, more than, just maybe just the Economist or the Indian Express. So yeah, so
Your
it's also
knowledge is
your
really
interest
increased.
change.
Yeah,
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 so that's
interesting.
it's very, very transformative. I always say, even you come and plant for one season, even that is transformative, and so it changes you completely.
This is beautiful. So, when you're doing these plantations, just coming to a little fun element here, when you're doing these plantations, and or you're on the site, or you're seeing your little baby plants becoming big
Big deal.
trees. So, any Bollywood song that you probably sing there, that makes you happy, or makes you, maybe encourage the other people who are walking next to you.
I think all my Bollywood songs are related to rain, because I said that's the one, the whole year we are just
Waiting
preparing
for the
for the
rain.
rain.
Yeah.
If it's going to rain, it's going to rain, and literally all of us look at the weather app every day, because we're trying to see, is it going to rain? Because if we are anticipating it's going to rain, let's say on the weekend, our watering schedule changes,
Oh,
because we water. So just to give you a little bit background on planting, we plant what we call native Aravali species.
okay.
So Aravali, because that's where we are.
Yeah.
Native means what is naturally found in the space.
Yeah.
And those are the species. So those are not something which you find everywhere. So when we started our journey in Biodiversity Park, we were asking the question of challenges. One of the challenges we realized is the ecologist gave us a list of 250 species. He says this is what needs to be planted here, because he had that knowledge. So we said, okay, we'll just buy them and plant them. And then we went to a nursery and we could found only 20 of those species. Then we went sent somebody to Jaipur and Udaipur, because that's
But they
also
were native,
Aravali.
you were saying. Even the native ones you couldn't find because of.
It's native which we couldn't find, because
Wow.
people have stopped asking for them. It's a question of demand supply, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
For
if
everything.
people demand that a cactus or a chrysanthemum or a moringa, that's what you'll get. Moringa is native, chrysanthemum and cactus is not. But the nurseries are growing those. Whatever we demand will be grown, right? So people are looking at it and saying, "Ye to jungli paudhe hain." So jungli is a negative connotation, which means it's not suitable for my gardens or my condominiums. So I don't want it. So nobody grows them. So we started our own plant nursery. We didn't have a choice. So it took us a while to get those plants going, because we didn't have those species. Even now we don't have all the species. So, but a lot of species we've been able to get, which were almost extinct in Haryana, we managed to get some of them back and grown saplings, and that's what we grow in our nursery. So that is why it's these, as you say, our babies are very important, because we've grown them in our own nursery. We put them out during the monsoon time, because the survival is the highest during monsoon, and also because our sites, as I told you, are degraded. So if you try and even dig a pit when it's the dry season, you cannot even dig a pit. It's so hard, the ground.
Because it's a rocky kind of a platform?
It's rocky, and also very little topsoil, because it's been mined.
Oh my God.
Right? So during the monsoon, and the earth softens and we're able to dig. And that's when we plant these. Because we plant native, we water them only 8 to 10 times in the year for 3 years. And that is it. Then they're on their own.
That's so nice.
Yes.
So your requirement of water is not so high.
Yes. So because these species have acclimatized over millions of years to this scarcity, to extreme climates, to scarcity of water. So therefore they adapt to this place. So imagine if I was to plant this a sapling and I had to water it every day, except the monsoon. How will I make forests? You cannot go and water forests every single day, right? So we purposely try and imitate nature. That's the idea, to imitate nature. And sometimes when they're very small, you can make out they're under stress. So the temptation is to water them more frequently. But if we do that, we are actually making the plant lazy. Because the plant will not go down, the roots will not go down to look for water. So you have to make sure that it is hardened. And after 3 years, we stop watering them and they survive.
Wow.
So
The nature handles its own self, I think, after a point of time. They don't need
and you
us,
would,
we need them.
yes, so when you go to our sites, where any of our sites, and you see they're growing on rock, you'll be amazed to see tall trees literally coming out of rock, and you'll wonder how that has happened.
Coming from a rock.
Literally growing out of a rock.
Wow.
And you see them in Avli Biodiversity Park, you see them in all our sites. The reason is because those species are the right species for rock. There are some species which are for what near there's more soil and there's water and so on and so on. I mean, all this we've learned from our guru, our ecologist. None of us knew this.
Of course, it's not
But it's a big learning for us. That's what I'm saying. All these are learnings for us.
it's beautiful.
That, for us, a tree is a tree. We say, okay, plant it. Just plant it. No. There is a science behind why each tree has to be planted in a special area.
So, have you seen, since we were talking about, I think we are not going back to the thing, but it's so interesting. The animals, like you spoke about tigers. So, do you sight new animals in your forest now?
So when you say new animals, yes. So we have in one of our sites, we have actually put camera traps.
Okay.
And we switch them on at night. They're motion detected.
Okay.
So if an animal crosses it, animal or a bird, it switches on and it'll capture the photograph and the video.
Wonderful.
So we have seen jackal, we've seen civet cat, we've seen porcupine, hedgehog, monitor lizards.
Wow.
And of course, nilgai you can see in any case, even otherwise.
Yeah.
So we've seen all of these.
Here in Gurgaon.
Yeah, very much so. In a site which is still becoming a forest. It's not even yet a forest. It's still a forest in the making. So wildlife is there. You have to just give it a chance, and it will start coming back. So all of these will, and more will come back. So what we do is when we, and this also we've learned over a period of time, when we start a site, we do baseline studies. So we start by saying that we start doing studies whether what the species of butterflies, birds, amphibians, and the trees which are existing. And then we look at this data 5 years or 7 years later, after we've cleaned it and we started planting. So if we are seeing an increase in all of this, it means we are doing the right thing. These are bioindicators to say we've been planting right. Because a bird will come when it finds a familiar tree, where it can eat the fruit, where it can nest. So birds will automatically come back, and so on. And similarly, if you plant the right kind of plants for the butterflies, they will come back.
It's a game of patience.
Yeah.
Years of patience.
Years and years.
Years of patience.
Yeah. But also it's a delight to see it. Yeah.
Going back to your favorite song.
My song?
Yeah.
How come I can't think of a Bollywood song right now? You'll come back to me. I can't think of a song right now.
So in the meantime, while you're thinking about the song, we'll play this quick rapid fire round with you.
Okay. Okay, that's a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go green and giggle.
Okay.
So if you could be any tree, which one would you be and why?
Okay, so which tree would I be? I would probably be Bargad.
Okay.
Because I think it's a tree which supports a lot of birds and animals, and also it's something it's a beautiful shape, and it keeps growing, and it lives for, I don't know, maybe 500 years.
So wish you all the best for 500 years.
If I'm a tree, I wouldn't mind being here for 500
but
years.
Yes, it is a beautiful tree.
Yeah,
I think
I love the formation
shape
of the tree. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's one thing your younger self would never believe you are doing today?
I don't think my younger self would have ever imagined that I would be standing at 45 degrees in the heat, in the dust, and cleaning to create a forest. I would have never imagined I would be doing this. Ever.
So you were never into all these things before that?
No.
No, not at all.
I mean, like everybody else, I would enjoy going to a forest, but I wouldn't opt to say I will go to a forest.
Yeah.
Yes, I would go. We all climb trees. We all pluck, these fruits from the trees and all of that.
Yeah.
But very soon we grew out of that.
Yeah.
But I would have never imagined that I would be doing this.
That's so nice, actually. Yeah. So, what would you prefer? Sunrise in the Ravelis or sunset at the beach?
Oh, sunrise on the Ravlis any day.
Any day. Seeing different shades of the sun coming out,
Yeah,
from orange
beautiful.
to
And
yellow. It's so beautiful.
behind the mountains.
Behind the mountains and some birds flying in the sky.
Yeah, and hearing the sounds change.
Yeah, sounds change
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful. Okay, we have to talk about food. So, what is your go-to comfort food after your long day at the site? Outdoors and everything. What's your go-to food?
I think my favorite is curry chawal.
Curry chawal.
Yeah, anytime.
I think
could
that's
have
my
it
younger
anytime.
one's favorite as well.
Oh, I could have it anytime.
Anytime. One fun thing about nature you wish everybody knows.
Fun thing. Very interesting things, but fun things. Yeah, so I think one of the fun things which I found very a lot of fun was that snakes. I was always very, very scared of snakes. I think most of us are scared of snakes. I'm still scared of snakes.
Yeah, I
But,
think everybody is.
Yeah, but what fun fact which I got to know very recently is what that snakes smell through their tongue. So I didn't know that. I thought
They don't have a nose.
no, finally they smell through their tongue.
Oh, wow.
So that's a fact I got to know very recently. Another fun fact was that birds who are migrating, that even while migrating they can sleep.
Instant while they are flying.
Yeah.
They can sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They can eat like insects. They can drink water, moisture. They can even sleep while flying.
This particular species, like all kind of birds.
No,
or the
I don't know.
migratory?
Maybe some migratory birds, not all. I mean,
Not
I don't claim to be an expert on this, but somebody
But wow,
told me this.
this
Yeah.
is like
This was
amazing.
fascinating because I remember I asked this person, they're migrating, right? So they're not sleeping. They're not sitting down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Some of them
like
they will
traveling
rest
long
after a while,
distances.
but very, very long distances.
Yeah. They sleep, they
Yeah,
eat, they drink
Yeah.
just by flying.
Yeah, and another fun fact was that, which is not in India, but the monarch butterfly, which migrates from North America all the way to Mexico, it takes 7 generations for them to reach from North America to Mexico.
7 generations to
from-
reach there.
from one migration.
And how much is the time period when you say 7 generations?
I don't know the time period, but I'm assuming it's over some weeks or months maybe that they migrate all the way. But it takes 7 generations. So the first generation will fly. They will lay their eggs, and the eggs will become caterpillar and pupa, and the next generation
And the
comes.
journey is anyway so different.
And then the next butterfly. Now, what's fascinating is that how do they know the way?
I was just going to ask you, how do they know to go from North America to Mexico?
And we think we are smart
we can't
intelligent.
do that. We can't do that.
to think. We need Google Maps. No?
We need Google Maps. And that's
Oh, yeah.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So, any Bollywood song now, if you remember?
Oh, we are back to my Bollywood.
Yes. Anything on monsoon? You were saying, no, rains.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of rain songs. I think it is Do Devane Sheher Mein, Raat Mein aur Dopahr Mein.
Anyway, that's a beautiful song also.
yeah.
Wo hai ya nahi hai?
I don't know if it's this one, but yeah, I love that song as well.
That's a beautiful song.
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of Bollywood songs. I don't know.
I know. We've all grown up on that, Every song is like a memory. Somewhere or the other, tab gaya tha, tab dance kara tha. So beautiful. So before we wrap up the session, would you like to add something on something that probably I missed asking you? Would you like to add something now?
Yeah. So I just wanted to add that, a lot of times people realize that only one person, I'm just the voice for IAmGurgaon. But I just want to say that this whole movement or whatever we are doing is not possible without the whole, a very, very energized and completely passionate team.
I'm sure.
So, if I was to name my team members, there's Latika, there's Swanzil, there's Anjali, Nidhi, Gayatri, Namrita, Vasundhara. So all of these super dynamic ladies who are in the team. And our biggest force is our Malis who are on the ground, whether it's at 45, 48 degrees, whether it is 5 degrees. Without a complaint, they are there. They're there 12 months in the year. Our sites are open 365 days. Except on national holidays, our sites are open. We were even open during COVID because we had to water our plants. So we had special permission even to do that. So literally, these are the force. So whether it's our supervisors, whether it's our site managers and our architects who are on the ground, it is unbelievable because something like transforming 800 acres of land 16 projects across the city. It's not possible without the force of all of this. So I
Absolutely.
feel I am privileged and I'm really blessed to have met these people and be a small part of this journey and feel that transformation in my heart into
That's so
this.
nice. That's
I'd
so,
also like to take a special thanks, I'd like to say, to all the people, whether there are architects, because I know these architects, for them these projects have been very different, very unusual.
absolutely kind
So
of
we've
waste
all,
management you've done
yeah,
with
so
that.
we've learned, they've learned, we've learned, and we've kind of reached that, whether it is our contractors, whether it is our ecologist Vijay, who's our guru, who's taught us, and keeps teaching us, and all of this. I think all of us have learned and enjoyed and loved every part of this journey.
This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. It's we should not forget what you've achieved. The effort of so many people. I think
Yes.
that's acknowledging that is wonderful, beautiful.
Thank you.
So, just for the closing note now. So, they say healing is about our body, but it's not only that. It's about the land, it's about our cities, it's all about our hearts. So, it's like complete healing happens when it's not, we heal the society we live in, where we breathe, where our children walk around, where we travel, where we work. So, it's like taking care of everything is healing for us. So, thank you so much, Preeti, for showing us, what it means to be fiercely in love with what you're doing and creating something for people who probably don't matter for you, but leaving something like a legacy for everybody to rejoice and enjoy, reconnect with nature actually for everybody. So I let's all hope and pray that our forests keep growing, keep multiplying, and many of us get the courage to take that extra step and support the cause like this and many more causes which will help us and our future generations to live a better, brighter, happier, more cleaner world. So as I was just going through when I was studying about when we were going to talk about all this, I was reading about things that came across a song which was like an anthem they kind of made to celebrate the World Environment Day in 2020. It says like "Dhak Dhak Dharti." This is a beautiful song, so I don't know how to sing it, but anyway, I'm not a good singer. But just to say a few lines, it says, "धरती का दिल क्या बोले, धक 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 धक, खुद जी लो सबको जीने दो, खुद जी लो सबको जीने दो, मेरे लिए जरूरी है ये सब." So dhak 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 dhak. So please, everybody, take care of yourself, take care of your environment because everything matters. Lots of love. Cheers.